Welcome to CTV News Your Canada. It is Wednesday, April 23rd. We'll bring you profiles of fascinating Canadians and stories about your community. Thanks for watching.
Alpha Bravo 1, Oscar Charlie. This is November Alpha 1.
A connection from outer space.
Very cool experience. It's like a once-in-a-lifetime thing. Hi, my name is Nathan.
Nathan Lane, part of a group of grade 6 and 7 students, speaking with astronaut Nicole Ayres aboard the International Space Station.
I asked, what's the longest time you spent in space, and do you get scared before you go into space?
And a reply from about 400 kilometers directly above.
I'm scared, but definitely excited. Over.
Ayres launched as pilot of NASA's SpaceX Crew 10 mission on March 14th.
It's so cool that you get to talk to somebody that is making history right now. It's so cool.
Bridget inspired to perhaps become an astronaut one day too.
It's really inspiring, and you can see like so many pretty things.
These Carsonarito Public School students making a mark that's out of this world.
I told them, they're making history today. Not many people could say they've spoken to someone not on the planet Earth. We only have a window of 10 minutes.
Steve and Lori McFarland travel the world helping to make the connection between students and the International Space Station using amateur radio.
People all over the world are tuned into this, including Mission Control.
Students asking a variety of questions.
What do you do if there's a fire? Over.
Well, we actually get a lot of emergency training.
What does burger paste taste like? Over.
And when time was almost up, one more from the teacher.
Has your twin sister ever considered following your footsteps into becoming an astronaut? Over.
She helped to organize the chat.
It's a lot of preparation and a lot of stress, but I think the smiles were worth it.
Smiles which may inspire the next generation of space explorers.
It was really cool.
It was really fun and like a one-in-a-lifetime moment.
Peter Sperling, CTV News.
Feels a little bit like we're on the moon. We're out here in the middle of nowhere.
While it may feel like another planet, these researchers are in Canada. They're studying ice cores at the Mueller Ice Cap Camp on a remote island in Nunavut.
This is our kitchen tent and our work tent over here. Believe it or not, we actually have a freezer.
The team is drilling down about 600 meters into the ice cap. That's the deepest ice core in Canadian history.
So we've got a deep trench here with a hole at the bottom.
We know the depth, but we don't actually know how old the ice is yet.
Samples could include ice that's more than 10,000 years old. The researchers say this will help explain what's been happening to the environment.
In terms of understanding climate change, our observations are really limited to the last 200 years, really. And ice cores provide a really nice long-term record that show climate variability.
Those samples will be brought back to the Canadian Ice Core Lab at the University of Alberta to be analyzed.
This will be the longest and potentially oldest new ice core that our National Ice Core Lab will receive, process, and analyze. This is like a remarkable opportunity for the Canadian Ice Core Lab.
The 10-person team arrived up north at the start of April and will remain there throughout May. They expect the ice analysis will take a year or two. Evan Kenny, CTV News, Edmonton.
The exhibit is a step inside the world of revelers at the Nova Music Festival. Attendees take in the spirit of the gathering and follow along as the dancing suddenly stops and the horror plays out.
Once the terrorists attacked and people were running away, they left their belongings behind, everything.
This is the recreated campground. Personal items abandoned alongside footage of survivors concealing themselves in bushes and portable toilets with bullet holes. Ophir Amir jumped in a car to escape. He and his friend were shot multiple times.
We were lying next to the car, my friend and me, and unfortunately 2 hours later I saw him take his last breath and he died next to me.
During the attack, festival goers hid wherever they could to survive, including the bar area, even climbing into these fridges. The exhibit shows some of the burnt-out cars many used to get away, only to be confronted by terrorists along the road. Mikhail Ohana was also shot. She hid for 7 hours while 2 of her friends were taken hostage.
It's pain, and it's so deep. And because this, I'm here today to show the world what happened and to fighting every day to bring them home.
In all from the festival, 43 people were taken into captivity and 412 were murdered, 4 of them Canadian. Their stories, too, are showcased at the exhibit. Survivors say sharing the installation is a testament to the strength and resilience of all those impacted by the attack.
There was so much hate and so much denial on social media everywhere in the world. And with this exhibition, we can educate, fight anti-Semitism, and tell our stories.
The exhibit in Toronto comes after runs in Tel Aviv, New York, LA, and Miami. It's on here until June 8th. All proceeds from tickets support Nova Music Festival survivors. Beth McDonald, CTV News.
On the grounds of the Legislative Building, dozens of students rally together.
I really think it's important to recognize Earth Day because since we're living here, there's only one place we could live, really. And life is a really beautiful thing to experience.
Alexis Anero and her classmates at École Lila North are learning about ways to renew energy and reduce pollution by planting trees.
I can't think of a better way to represent Earth Day than celebrating it with our whole school.
Teachers at their school launched a clothing donation program and an Eco Warriors Club, all designed to teach kids about waste.
It's not just one person doing everything perfectly, it's a million people doing one more thing that they can do for the environment.
And they're not the only school getting involved. At Maples Collegiate, high school students are also going green, taking part in a bi-weekly compost collection.
It's about changing your lifestyle. It's not about, posting something on your story for one day and saying that you're done with it.
And the Save LeMay Forest Coalition was at the rally to celebrate. The St. Norbert Forest will be saved from development, thanks to the province.
I'm kind of still in shock that working on this for 5 years and all of a sudden they're expropriating. It's fantastic.
Other groups like Our Line in the Sand say more work needs to be done to protect land from silica mining companies. Organizers have collected over 600 signatures to change mining legislation.
It's about respect, respecting our walk on the earth and doing it in tune with. And that's what we're asking Premier Canoe to do.
Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, Winnipeg.
With over 1,900 species calling the University of Waterloo campus home, a transformation is underway to reclaim the land.
We are trying to heal the forest by removing invasive species. So in the past couple years, we've been removing invasive common buckthorn, and now we are replacing it with native species.
The healing forest getting a little help from dozens of volunteers on Earth Day, planting 150 native species trees.
It's critically important to be a part of your community, do what you can to rehabilitate the spaces you're a part of.
White pine, white cedar, and a variety of maples, oaks, and shrubs like ninebark and chokecherry were all planted today.
The beautification and the maintenance of our green spaces is really important, and just, coming out here, seeing other people really also put in the work, it's really inspiring.
A project that is ongoing.
We know that we have biodiversity is so large on campus, and so it's really important to restore these areas, to conserve them, and just to make these spaces inviting for both people on campus but also the wider community.
And for one volunteer, coming out to plant the foundation of a forest was written in her roots.
My parents are both from Iran, and we kind of have a very botanical theme in my family. So Sepadar actually means birch tree. My last name actually means garden. My mother is named after a lily pad, my sister after a cedar. So we've kind of kept that blooming of life and abundance throughout our family tree, literally, as well.
And the planting doesn't stop here. Organizers say in total around 500 trees will be planted throughout the campus by the end of the year. Ashley Bacon, CTV News, Waterloo.
On this Earth Day, Dawson College grads and future students are working together sowing seeds.
planting native wildflower seeds because we want to attract native species and increase biodiversity here at Dawson.
The biodiversity is nurtured with green projects like this. At last count, 1,000 species have been identified in this urban oasis.
It's about rewilding our campus, even though we have a small space, just creating tiny little pockets of space for life, like tadpoles, putting in a pond so tadpoles can live here.
1,000 species, and even like things you would never expect in downtown Montreal, like the creeper frog, which is the smallest frog in Quebec, and eastern screech owl. Actually, it was like right in that tree right there.
It began with the Peace Garden, and over the years, this living campus has expanded with other projects like vegetable gardens and aquatic plants that absorb the copper from the rainwater runoff from the roofing on these heritage buildings.
It's really nice to have nature part of our learning because it gives you a really new set of mindset to focus on your studies.
All these initiatives have added up, and Dawson College was awarded Platinum certification by the Association for the Advancement of Sustainability in Higher Education. 13 universities in the world share this honor, and Dawson is the only CEGEP.
The achievement of a platinum rating is really stating that Dawson cares and that we are looking at the greater purpose of education. It's not just about the great discipline-centric material that we offer here to students, but we go beyond the classroom. And what you see here is a living example of what we call our living campus, reconnecting people, community, and nature.
It's the whole community, everything from engagement to planning to the operations here at Dawson. Everyone had a part in this, so we thank the whole community. Without them, then we wouldn't have this award.
In this living laboratory, every day is Earth Day at Dawson. Christine Long, CTV News.
He spent countless hours here creating an inventory of artwork and artifacts at the Danish Canadian Club. Jan Sorensen has a list of names of all the members who want some of the memorabilia.
Everything you see on the walls and so on has to come down and distribute around to the original donors, to the museum, and some we take with us to the new location.
Sorensen says historic items like this National Guard uniform will go to the Danish National Museum in Dixon, Alberta.
I am just about here every day right now to make everything ready to go, because the moving trucks are already booked, so so they have to be ready.
Per Anderson has been a member here since 1975 when there were more than 2,000 members, but now it's down to under 600, and the building is costing too much to maintain, and it's time for a change.
The Austrian Club has been graciously accepting us as another club into their building. So the clubs are each going to have their own identity, but share facilities.
Anderson says the move is a reunion of sorts.
There's always been a very strong relationship between the Danes and the Austrians, and yeah, they were actually they were in this building at one time. Their club was in this building at one time.
Anne-Marie Peterson's parents met here at a Christmas dance in 1965, and she's literally grown up at the club. She's hoping the move will result in more new members signing up.
I think it's going to be an interesting time. I'm going to be sad to see this building go, because it's like it was a second home at one point. We were here so much, but I think it's time to look at how we do things differently.
The flag will come down at the end of the month and soon fly beside the Austrian flag at the new location. Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
It's emotional to see her go through this.
Overcome with sadness, Tina Doherty stands by her daughter Caitlin's side as she supports her 3-week-old son Raiden in the NICU.
But it makes me happy to see that she's in the best place that she can be.
The New Brunswickers are a long way from home. So far, they've spent 42 nights at this Ronald McDonald house.
My husband's at home with our oldest son, and I'm here with my mom, supporting our youngest son in the NICU. So just having people to talk to, support you, feels like a family away from family.
Starting April 29th, the new facility will welcome families like the Van Landets. CEO Lori Barker says planning for this project started in 2017.
A big part of what drove us to create this new building is just needing more space.
The new location will offer double the capacity of the previous house.
We have so many different program spaces, so arts and crafts room, sensory room, activity room. There's a fitness room on the lower level, a teen zone, huge kitchen pavilion.
This is our hero headquarters where kids can grab a mask and a cape and become a superhero.
The $30 million project was made possible by community support.
And I look back at the last 8 years of planning, of fundraising, of designing and working with an amazing group to bring this to light. It's been incredible.
With an unknown timeline, Caitlin feels relieved knowing she has a space like this.
Go to the appointments, come back, get the surgery done, recover, come back. That will be a lot of what our life will look like for the next year, 2 years.
To have a place like this to come to is, like, I can't even put it into words how amazing, fantastic.
Emma Convey, CTV News, Halifax.
These are the words we want during the event.
Students from Oak Ridge Secondary's robotics team show off their hardware from recent competitions. They're among more than 50 Oakbotics team members who traveled to Houston, Texas last week to take part in the first robotics championship with teams from all over the world.
It was really fun. I saw it as a great way to get many opportunities. There were tons of companies, tons of universities that I went up to talk to.
I've learned so many, not only hard skills about the different fields in STEM, science, technology, engineering, math, how to build a robot, and how to manage money, but a lot of the soft skills like communication and teamwork.
What attracts me to robotics is really the community and just the competitive, non-competitiveness of it, and just the amount of stuff that you get to do and the amount of fields that you get to touch.
And for these future engineers and scientists, the timing couldn't be better. The provincial government announced Tuesday $750 million funding to support science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, or STEM programs at colleges and universities across the province.
This critical investment will fund up to 20,500 STEM seats every year, giving students access to cutting-edge programs, hands-on learning opportunities, and real-world work placements with employers, so that when they graduate, they are ready to take careers in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics by storm.
Oak Ridge First Robotics lead mentor, teacher Andrew Goddard, says high school students with a STEM background will be ready to fill those seats.
It is a valuable experience for them, and there's lots of jobs that are going to be available, especially if the tariff situation and Ontario and Canada is looking at developing their own space in the industry.
Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
639 days later, his heart still beats.
Darla Breton's life changed forever in July of 2023 when her 22-year-old son, Braylon, was rushed to hospital. Doctors told Breton her son had a catastrophic brain injury.
Our story could have ended right there in that room. But through the honor of donation, Braylon's life and legacy continue.
That's because 6 of his organs were donated to others.
His big, strong heart, his lungs, kidneys, liver, and the islets of his pancreas were all transplanted.
Braylon was Indigenous, and that's a demographic with a significant number of people represented on the waiting list for organ and tissue transplant.
In Canada, there are 4,400 people waiting for an organ and tissue transplant. 250 Canadians die each year waiting for a life-saving organ.
The Saskatchewan Donor Program hopes to encourage organ donation, especially amongst Indigenous people.
Painting exists because of like-minded people coming together in regards to taking care of each other.
Kevin Wesaquate created this artwork called Niwo, which means 4 in Cree and represents the 4 body parts, which contribute to the whole person. It also incorporates the 4 colors of the medicine wheel. It's hoped to help draw attention to organ donation. This artist lost his mom, who was waiting for an organ donor when he was a child.
Tried to capture, the idea of giving and the idea of connectedness to this, in regards to the Indigenous culture, the Star people. That's why the painting looks as if it's in the air.
The painting will hang in the newly renovated entrance of St. Paul's Hospital. Carla Shinkaruk, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Living in the neighborhood for 3 years, Erin Paik is proud to call North Central Regina home.
We have a public pool, a public library, a beautiful high school, and elementary school.
The area is affordable with opportunities for young families to buy homes. However, the area has an excessive amount of garbage piling up on streets and in alleys, prompting Paik to call on city officials for support.
Most of the people who've lived here for a long time or who own their homes take pride in their properties, but the garbage that we're seeing every spring doesn't come from the homeowners or the residents. It's either being dumped or it's a problem with homeless, bins being stolen.
For years, community organizations like White Pony Lodge have taken the initiative to help clean North Central streets.
We see people all the time out there cleaning up, whether it's needles, whether it's garbage. We see lots of community members who care, and so we want to help them out.
O'Malley says the City of Regina has implemented a cleaning program of its own, which has made a difference.
They come around and they clean it. I've noticed a definite difference there. Every time the snow melts, there's a ton of garbage that's there. I think for our community to really see a big difference, we have to start looking at the underlying causes.
The city says since the beginning of April, its dedicated debris team has collected over 90 tons of waste.
The debris team is the response that the city has put in place towards dealing with debris, is specifically in the Heritage and North Central areas. The debris team is for those areas alone and not really used in other parts of the city.
City officials say if people see illegal dumping activities, they should report it to police. Sierra D'Souza Butts, CTV News, Regina.
As Sarah Kendall and Jean Furby look back on their love story, they can't help but laugh.
It was a natural thing. It seemed to fit.
Back when Jean began teaching laughter yoga, after discovering that if you start to laugh deliberately, you'll eventually find yourself unable to stop laughing genuinely.
To let go and just let the body take over.
But letting go physically can be a challenge when you're carrying around so much emotionally.
It was an aneurysm, and it was a stroke in my brain.
After being hospitalized in a coma for months, Sarah was left partially paralyzed.
It was a thoroughly horrible thing.
The situation often seemed hopeless until the couple happened upon a laughter yoga demonstration and decided to give it a try. While the benefit for Jean was immediate,
I said, I've got to learn how to do this.
For Sarah, it was a bit more of a struggle.
I would fake it till I make it, and I would start to laugh.
It also inspired the couple to stop resisting life's challenges.
You realize that this is the way it is, and here I am.
And start searching for the potential gift in even the most adverse of moments.
And I wanted to love the most that I could, and every day.
Which is why Sarah says she now feels grateful for her stroke, because it's inspired both of them to live a more loving life.
She's a bright light. Yeah, she is.
And Jean, she says, is genuinely joyful.
We love each other.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Esquimalt.